So today we're gonna discuss the advantage of ESP32 to make your application become true multitasking, and we'll use the FreeRTOS library. So today we'll talk about FreeRTOS basics. Uh, the idea is uh, know that the ESP32 has the two processing core, and if we create the task, we can specify the core to that task so that we can separate the task that you would want it to have the highest performance to run on the on one core, and some other tasks to other core. For example, suppose you want to create a PID control. Okay, so the feedback control should run in a separate core so that no other task can interfere with it. Okay, so that's the idea. Uh, and how we generate and how we create the task to specific core. That's the topic of the FreeRTOS. But before that, I would like to give some like a motivation for this. So let's talk about this lab, this simple lab. Uh, for this one, I do multitasking by have one task in the loop and the other task in the timer, just like we did before with the PD. And for this example, I just create a simple task. Okay, this is just counting variables, and so it doesn't do anything useful, but it consume processor time. All right, so we'll see what will happen if these two tasks, the one in the timer and the one in the loop, these two tasks run on the same uh, processor core. Okay, so what would happen? So we upload this to the board. All right, and we will see what is the priority of the timer and the queue. And if we create a simple application like this, the two tasks will run on the same core. That is core one. And we look at the serial monitor. We see that most of the message come from the timer, and you will see some from the loop. Okay, from the loop, and this happened quite quickly. So uh, maybe I disconnect this to see the message. You see that the message from the loop happen very less frequently than the timer. This means that the timer has higher priority, and both of them run on core one. Okay, so this is not what you want for a multitasking application, because one task in the timer uh, has very high priority. You cannot have both tasks running at like equal priority by using this method. Uh, okay, I want to compare this to another. When you look at this program that use the FreeRTOS. By the way, FreeRTOS library is in the SP core. You don't have to install any additional library. So if you have the SP32 core, you only have FreeRTOS. And you see that for this example, instead of having one task in the loop and one in the timer, I create a task. Okay, and I pin that task to core. Okay, and to core 0. In this case, I have the task core 0, so I pin the task to core 0, and the one in the loop, task in the loop is in core 1. So these two tasks now in the two different core, and we'll see what happened when we run this. Remember that previously you have both tasks running on core 1, and we have most of the time it run on cores. It run on the timer, right? We'll see how this help when we use. Now you see that both tasks, which is the same, right? Okay, the two tasks are identical. Now the two tasks run on equal priority, and you see the message from each of the tasks. Okay, and it to see this, I have to stop it, and you see that the method switch between the two equally, right? So this is in a multitasking point of view, this is better than the first one, right? Another example that demonstrates two multitasking is called. Okay, we will compare the two files here. So we have two tasks. Task 1, the simple task is to bring the LED on board. Okay, so the LED bring at some rate. And when I press this switch, task 2 execute. Task 2 is a more complicated one. It's to generate the chirp signal when the switch is placed. Okay, so when I press this switch, the chirp signal is generated and display on this LED. Okay, so we will first we will how to do this in a basic way. So this is a chirp signal in case you haven't heard it before. It's just like a sine wave with varying frequency from some lower frequency to high frequency in a range. Okay, so let's see how we do that. First one, we okay. First one, we have the multitask basic here, and you see that okay, and here the gen chirp is a function that generates the chirp signal, and okay, what we do is we put it in the loop here, and the loop blink the LED, and also when I press the switch, it generates the chirp signal. Okay, so this simple. If you do it this way, you see that it cannot have a multitasking capability. Right, so I download this because, as you can see, the Gensher have the while loop here. Okay, so when I press the switch, it will stuck into this while loop, and it do some complicated thing to vary the frequency of the sinusoid wave, but your code will start here, and you cannot have multitasking. Yeah. What happened here is when I play this switch, you see that the LED blinking stop. Okay. The LED stop blinking and it generates the chirp signal because now my program is stuck in the while loop, right? Until I release the switch, the LED start blinking. So this is not a multitasking program. How can we do two multitasking using the FreeRTOS? So this is the program that demonstrate that advantage. Okay, so for multitasking FreeRTOS, I will upload this and explain it at the same time. You see that the chirp signal generated at task 0, the task zero is in the different core than the one that bring the LD. Okay, so this task zero is create it. The core is specified as core 0. Okay, and the LD blinking is in loop, which is in core 1. Okay, so the gen chirp and the LD blinking now in different processor core. You see the effect that when I generate the chirp signal, you see the chirp signal is you will see from this LD, also the blue LD here, but you see that the blinking of this LD still doesn't stop, right? Because it's processed in different core. Okay, it's in core 1, but the chirp signal is in core 0. So this is true multitasking, and you can do that with the ESP32, which has 2 processor core. Okay, so I think this motivates the advantage of using the ESP32 in contrast to ESP8266.